saddle looks good, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, it sits well on her.
Yeah, it doesn't flop up and down when he posts.
And it looks like he's got enough room for his leg there. The flaps fit a decently long leg. How do you feel in it, Ren?
He's been complaining that Blaze is so big after riding the pony.
Oh. The transitions are annoying? Because she's not... Oh, yeah.
How do I ride a horse again?
That's why you're here. Excellent. How do you feel in the saddle, though? Yeah. They sit, it actually looks about right. Maybe it's an inch long. But what you want to have is have a third of your leg on the saddle, which would probably be about there. So they're probably about that much too long right now, which is probably perfect, right? Because you're going to grow a little bit more, I would think. And then the other thing we want to see is that you've got a little bit in front of your knee, which is perfect, and that if we shortened your stirrups, that you would still be okay in it, which it looks like you are. And then if you put the flat of your hand behind your butt like this, you want to be able to, and you've got enough room to do that, right? You wouldn't want to have like your butt hanging off the edge where you can't fit that behind you.
Yeah.
Good. So anyways, it's something to try, and I think you and Leo both are kind of squeezed out of that little black saddle, right? So, okay. So something I thought we'd do, we talked about a couple weeks ago, was the posting the canter.
Oh, yeah.
Have you done that? No, okay. So we'll just go over that, and then it's something that's just something you can do in your warm-up to kind of get her cruising along. I think we talked about before how I sort of feel two different ways about posting the canter, right? I don't think it's the most useful thing, but it's not a bad tool to have in your toolkit, right? For some horses, if they're uptight, it helps to loosen them up.
Yeah.
Or a horse who maybe is a little bit lazy, it can help to get them going down the long side, that kind of thing. Okay, so transitions, did you feel like you got crisp transitions, or you just weren't quite used to?
I just wasn't used to it. I couldn't really notice. I'm just like, a big horse bulging, haha.
Yeah. Yeah, ponies are harder in some ways, harder for balance, but your balance is very exceptional.
I've been riding ponies for 8 years.
Yeah.
The balance problem is gone.
Right. So, like, for me, I find it harder to ride a pony for balance.
Yeah.
But they're easier in that you can manhandle them around, and I don't mean roughly, I mean like if you do this, you get a lead change because our weight is affecting them so much more than we do on a horse. Okay, so we're going to start with posting the canter. Let's start on the left because that's where your canter leads. So basically what you're going to do is one stride touching the saddle, one stride away from the saddle, one stride touching, one stride away. So when we look at her front legs going like this, right? One time they're going forward, you're going to be in the saddle. The next time you're up. You're in the saddle for one, and then you're up for one. Okay? So basically this is very much like posting the trot, except it's a slower motion, right? Every stride of canter is like a much bigger step than obviously a trot step. So let's just start going large around the ring on the left. Looks nice, Gabby. Okay, so canter when you're ready. Start out with sitting, and then we'll work on to the 2-point. Or sorry, the posting rather. Okay, good. So have your hips nicely bent. Ready? And you're gonna stand for one. Up, 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 up. That's right, just like posting the trot. Yep, exactly, you already have it. Good. And then it's just feeling your balance point with keeping yourself anchored over your feet. So Ren, you just clicked into that, no problem. Right? It's just feeling the rhythm of the canter in the same way that we feel the rhythm of the trot. Okay? So can you see how that's a pretty sort of low pressure, easy way to cruise around the ring? Very good. Okay, so back to sitting. Oh, Blaze. And let's come across the diagonal with a flying lead change. So I want you to aim to the letter H. You're going to keep her straight and upright with your right leg and lead change. Good, not bad. And let's do the posting canter once this way, Ren. Feel the rhythm. Yeah, just lovely. Yeah, that's all it is. So nothing to it once you feel the rhythm. Okay, and back to sitting. Yeah, press her ribs out there. So did you feel halfway down the wall, she started to lean off the wall? And as she was leaning her body off the wall, her head and neck were turning to the wall. So there's something you can correct with your hands, with both your hands, inside ring close to the neck, inside fingers working, and then your right leg holding the ribs straight against the wall. That's way better. Good, Ren. Big circle up at that end. And then I want you to come down the quarter line, after your circle, down the quarter line, and a leg yield out to the rail. Good. So keep your outside legs slightly back, just helping to guard your lead, and one step at a time, straight head and neck. So she was good there, but we had too much inside bend. Okay, like 5 degrees would be fine, just helping confirm that you want her to hold the lead, but we want her head and neck to be relatively straight, right? Because it is a leg yield. Whoa. Okay, just circle, start again. Watch for each other, communicate. Look down your quarter line, Ren. Good, straight head and neck, feel the outside rein, beautiful, better, much better. Energy, let's prepare to come across the diagonal, flying chain. Go before the letter M. Left leg is holding straightness. Oh, sneaky horse. So she got well out ahead of that curve, which shows that she's sort of wired now for her lead changes, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Okay, Red, I want you to keep your canter, circle one more time where you can, and then you're going to canter down quarter line over this cross rail. So what I'm looking for is a canter that stays the same. Look early, track, rhythm. Good. And I like how you landed with your hips bent. I'd like to see you land with your hands just a little bit lower to her neck. Let's come one more time on that same canter. I want to make sure that you're in the habit now of counting your canter rhythm. So from before you turn, you're looking to your jump. You're counting the beat of her front feet hitting the ground. Beautiful. Good. I'd still like to see your hands a little bit lower on landing. I know it's a small jump, so you don't need to exactly land into your hands, but I don't want to see no release either. Let's do that one more time. The ride was great. I want you to think about just touching her neck over the jump. Good, better, better, better. Okay, awesome. Walk and praise her. Good girl. Nice. 3 nice rides, right? And able to repeat the same canter, the same rhythm, and the same track every time. Wonderful. Okay, we'll just give her a few seconds to have a break, and then we'll do the same off the right. So off the right, it's a little more challenging, and you may have to ride a lead change after your jump. So if she lands on the left lead over the fence, I want you to press her out a little bit. You don't have to go all the way to the wall, but you're gonna just shift her out and then ask for the lead change before you make your turn. Okay, so you land going straight, then the right leg starts to press her out a bit, and then left leg opening inside rein as you ask for the lead change. Okay, so that would be before you meet the short side. Good girly. Okay, let's do that off the right.
So if 2 girls are riding her in Hunter, she's gonna look pretty good, eh? Her feet will be polished, braided.
Oh yes, she'll be all dolled up. I don't know if we'll go for braiding, but we'll see how motivated the girls are.
Yeah, Emma says she's pretty good at it.
Well, that'd be great. We've got to really pull her mane if we're going to braid her. It's got to be just a finger length long for hunter braids. So yeah, that'd be great. She'll look really like a different horse. Too bad about the clip job.
Well, I'll only take side shots, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Ready, out, out, and good setup, Ren. Good job. Now what we missed though was the setup coming to your jump, right? Because she came out of the turn and just kept drifting towards the wall. So be ready here, look at your jump, but be ready to be close with your outside aids. Do not let her go past the middle of the jump. Beautiful. Out for your lead change. Good job, Ren. Okay, walk and praise her. Good, so you're showing me a good understanding of the setup for the lead change. That's awesome. We haven't done a lot of asking for the lead change off a straight track, right? We've done a lot across the diagonals, that kind of thing. So that was really good to see that you understand where the setup needs to happen. Okay, so now we're going to put a couple things together. I want you to jump this quarter line jump off the left rein, left lead. Then you're going to go up the next quarter line and leg yield to the wall off your left leg, because we haven't done that side yet. And then I want you to keep cantering and canter over the brown box on the diagonal. Okay, and then you may need to work a lead change after that. Did that all make sense? Was Neo sore after no stirrups, Shane?
Not really, but I tell you, he's doing triple duty on the Thigh Master now.
Oh, good.
Next time you see him, he's going to be having those dialed in, because he used to be able to do those, no problem.
Yeah.
But he's the least of the exercise because he hasn't been riding much, so.
Nice, Ren. Good straight support there. Keep your outside leg just slightly back. Nice. I like how your rhythm didn't change. Now this is your counter to the jump. Support her on both sides. Look early. Are you counting? Yes, good job. Ready? Inside bend, work the right side. Good, good, good. Excellent. Okay, and walk and praise her. Oh, she's in a good mood today. Wonderful. Good, and I think maybe like your warm-up was a bit shorter today, right? And that might be a good thing for her, right? That by the time we get to the jumping, she's not like, oh, are we done yet? Good, awesome. Oh, I know what we're gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna just change this. We're gonna trot in. It's good to practice the trot in, and then we're gonna make the challenge happen because you're jumping this on a bending line to the oxer. Okay, so this is a challenge in terms of your organization on a fairly bending line, right? That in all the way through here, you've got to get her looking. Right? You've got to be flexible with your body. Your outside leg has to make sure the turn happens, that she doesn't just keep drifting out towards the wall. We want to jump straight over the middle of that one and then have every stride a turning stride. Okay, the first time I'm going to make this just a pull. I've been testing all my riders with this line this week, and a couple of them have tried and gone right past it. So we'll just keep it pulls the first time. And then we'll make it a jump as soon as you've succeeded. Okay, so off the left, trotting in and bending over the poles.
Yeah, Emma says that Blaze is coming on the bit really good with her.
Oh, good. Yeah, well, I guess I haven't seen her on her this week, but it was really good the last flat lesson we did. Oh, I love this horse. What a good girl. Okay, big pat for her, Ren. Well ridden. This is where she has totally changed, right? Like what an athlete she is now, that she lands, she gives you a lead change to the right, her hard side. She just lands, gives you a nice clean lead change, looks at the pole and goes, okay, and I think I'll lead change to the left over the pole because I'm turning left. Like all the right brain connections are happening there. Very cool. If I was to say there's something I'd want to be different, I'd like her to see a little more bent to the inside, right through the turn. She's just a tiny bit counterbent, so she still knew where she was going, but she wasn't totally looking for it. Okay, so let's do that again. I've just put the vertical up now. Same line. So you're landing and thinking about having your steering wheel turned, having that inside right fingers working her right bend a little bit. Very good, Ren. Okay, praise her and walk, and just walk down the long side, and I'm going to add the other rail here. So now, same rod with the oxer. Need to make sure your leg is closed at the jump so that she has a little bit of energy help over the oxer.
So I think Ren will come every day until the show, like Friday and Sunday next week.
Awesome.
And then just make sure he's totally dialed in. And
yeah, awesome.
so And I guess Friday, because Blaze will be over there, we'll probably skip Friday and just come Sunday, eh?
Right.
Unless,
you want to, well, I need to see what they'll let us do over there on the Friday.
right.
Because if they'll let us, then we could ride her over there.
Maybe have a lesson over there?
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. It doesn't, usually what Grayson used to do is they would do, you had to pay for it, but you could book the ring and then do schooling
Yeah.
the day before the show, but they're not doing that anymore.
Right.
So I need to ask
Yeah.
if there's any time that we can ride or not.
Yeah, if it doesn't happen, I think Blaze will be in good form because on Saturday she's gonna have some pretty easy
Yeah,
stuff
and I
to
think,
do.
I think it's a good plan for her to go Friday and settle in and see
Yeah.
the sights, and then hopefully by Sunday she's an old pro.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, I think what we might do is do a warm-up ticket at 2'6".
Yeah, I was even thinking lower at 2'3".
Yeah, like I just want her to pop over everything when it's
Right.
not big and not scary, and she's not going to run at them.
Right.
Right? Just see everything and, process, jump quietly. You might have to trot to something. And then as long as she does that at a low height and is confident and not scared of the jumps, then the height's not so much the issue, right? It's going in there and going like, what is all this stuff, right? Because they're all going to have much more color than we have at home here, and there'll be, the combinations and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I thought, warm up at the 2'6" and then go from there. Probably do the whole 2'9" division. Right, Mama? Okay, good. Let's do this one more time with the oxer, and then we will start to put some courses together.
So overall, Blaze's mental development for this and aptitude is pretty good for the short time she's been here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a huge part of it is her getting quite fit, I think is really helping her. And then I think just the consistency, beautiful jump, Ren. Just the consistency, right? The same program, the same, reward and correction. And we've gone slow, and I'm a huge believer that, you don't want to bore the horses, but when you go systematically, then you end up farther ahead, right? Yeah, like we could absolutely gallop down to big jumps right when you got here, and probably half the time she'd jump over and half the time she would be stopping or jumping off one hind leg, or, and then it's really easy for them to lose their confidence doing that kind of stuff. Okay, Ren, that was great. She jumped the stink out of this tiny little oxer. Funny girl. Okay, I want you to jump a couple of these lines by themselves before we begin to put our course together. So why don't we do this? Start off the right. Let me think about that. Yeah, let's start off the right, and you're going to canter around and jump this gate jump. And then I want you to go down the long side and canter around and jump the barrel jump. So both jumps you're jumping off the roll back, okay, not the long straight approach. So right jump over the gate, all the way down and around and back over the barrels. Okay, just so she gets a chance to see these and jump them as individual fences. Let's start with that.
The rollback is so not to terrify the horse on the long strides. It doesn't.
Well, my thinking here is that I think it's going to be better for her to have the bend and balance of the turn and then jump over her jump and have this portion to rebalance, where it's a little bit hard to rebalance into the short turn if she's like over jump this and then all of a sudden you've got to turn. So I think that jumping them this way the first time for her is going to work better, and then we can certainly jump them the other way, but then hopefully she's not worried about them. The downside of starting off the short turn is she's got less strides to see her jump and think about her jump, right? So you need to make sure again that she's looking ahead of herself, just like you did in this line to the oxer. Okay. Good. Okay, quietly trot. Praise her. Good. And half circle reverse, and we'll go jump that again. So it was good in that you didn't panic, you didn't overdo it, you didn't pull her out, right? You just kind of said, well, we've kind of got to jump this now, right? Like, here's my legs, you're pointed at the jump, and she figured it out, right? She came around the corner and went, oh, I don't know, but she figured it out, right? So that's really good. So now we're gonna go jump it right away again. She's seen it now, and we would expect that she turns the corner and is much more prepared for what's coming up. Simple change there, Ren. Okay. Oh, she's quick. All right, work your right bend. Good. So you're making sure that this is the canter you want because you're setting a canter for the jump. Good. Good. Carrying on. Getting ready to prepare her for this next jump, right? That you're bending left. You've got both legs on. Circle. Getting her going again. Look ahead. Look ahead with leg. With leg. With leg. With leg. Good, Ren. Lead change. Half halt, rebalance the canter, rebalance. All right, you want to use your bend to help you, right? She gets going a little fast and flat as she's counter bent and leaning in, right? Push her out and half halt her. Good, both jumps again. Be careful where you're jumping the jumps. Look for the center. You want to jump through the green tape. Looking, left bend. Oh, what a good girl. And nice balance from you, Ren. You're looking more with her these days, right? You're not so stiff in your 2-point. Very good. And walk. Good job. Excellent. Yeah, when she gets a little scrambled and fast here, right, it's going to help you to organize if you can still keep your bending aids on as you're half halting that outside rein, right? Because she was out of balance, so she was going faster and faster. So you want to press her up into your half halt, and then she finishes the leap change. Okay, super. Okay, so now we're going to start off the right. You're going to do the gate jump, bending line to the vertical and the quarter line. Now on stride canter, which she's jumping nicely over this one, make sure you jump the center. On stride, middle to middle should be 4 strides. Okay, so I would like to see you jump the center, keep both your legs on, don't interrupt her canter, right? Land, keep your legs on. And ride her 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? If she jumps way off to the outside like she's been doing, or the canter is short, then you're going to end up with 5, which is okay as well. But our plan is going to be efficiently center to center and jump it in 4. Okay? So I want you to do this bending line, then just mentally, we're gonna take a little mental break. So you've jumped this line, you're gonna circle, press her out, then you're gonna jump the white barrel, back to this jump in 4. Sorry. This is where I need a mental break. This line is 5. Yeah, that does look really long. This line is 5, and this line is 4. I was getting ahead of myself. Okay, so you've jumped over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, straight, lead change if needed, circle, barrel, 1, 2, 3, 4, jump out. Okay? Now she hasn't jumped this jump yet as part of a line, right? So even though she's jumped it by itself, she's not going to expect it coming out of the line. You need to just make sure you're very clear about where you're directing her. Okay, so which way is she looking? And remember, when you ask for this canter, you're going to sit, slide your leg back, and then ask, so that the leg is already in place before the squeeze. Good. Right bend though. Which way is she looking? Let's do that canter again. So not only does she need to be looking where she's going for the transition, but she needs to stay looking where she's going through the canter. Now be ready to be very strict with her if she takes you by the wall. Put your whip in your other hand. Outside leg, push her off the wall. Give her a tap behind your outside leg. Good. Now right bend and canter. There we go. Good. Continue. So here you're making sure this is the canter you want. Determined, both legs are on. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rebalance. She's too quick. Look for the turn. You're going to circle first. That's it, Ren. Now this is the canter you want. So now you're riding this canter to the center of the fence. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good girl. Lead change. Right bend. Work the right bend. So you bring her around your inside leg. Good, Ren. It's really coming together. Good job. Right bend. Don't let her look towards the wall, right? She needs to be staying focused on the inside of the ring. So make sure you're not too tight on your outside rein. So the length needs to be even, and you need to have turned your steering wheel a little to the right as the right leg keeps her ribs out. Good. Now just work on steadying the rhythm. That's right. Good. And walk and praise her. Now we had no problem going on stride. In fact, we had a little too much horse in the 5. It got quite tight. Okay? So that's really good to see that as we're getting ready for a horse show, we're not going to be worrying like, oh, that's a 6 stride line. Is she going to be able to do 6 or do we need to do 7? We know she has enough stride. Okay? In fact, naturally, she's got a little more stride than my horse. Right? And she's smaller than him. And he can go on stride as well. But he finds it difficult to go on stride without speeding up, where she's got a little more length to her stride. Okay, Ren, so now what we're gonna do is put our 2 lines together. So you're gonna jump your 5 stride line. Make sure she's not getting away from you. Straight, rebalance, left bend, and then you're jumping your 4 stride line. Then I want you to go around and jump the oxer as your last fence. Okay, so you've got this portion to rebalance your canter. You need to have the canter you want for the oxer by before M, right? And then you're being patient and riding her straight to the oxer. Counting, counting rhythm. Let's give her another few seconds just to walk here. Make sure she's getting enough breaks. So you've already shown it, Spruce?
What?
Jealous. Very jealous. Good.
Hide and seek there owners.
Oh yeah, he was with the owner has kids their age too, so they're just kind of doing the thing with the owner's kids.
Cool. No, that's awesome. I'm hoping to go there in June.
Yeah?
It's my big push. Try to get that done this year. More trot. Good, Red. So you want just a little more canter, right, before you're going to your jump, so set that now. Is she awake to your leg? I don't believe she is right now. Cool. Balance. Okay, now she jumped well, but you didn't really help her make a decision, right? So give her a pat there. She made a really good effort. What we want to take away from that, or what we want to change out of that effort, is that moment where she hesitates and she's like, I don't know what to do. That's where you come in. You need to let her know either you're waiting or you're pressing forward and jumping, right? Because there you've got that real in-between stride where it's not obvious to her, right? All your bending lines, it was obvious to her, okay? Da, 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 jump, right? She knew exactly where to take off. But here she got to this spot and she's like, well, this seems longer than normal, right? So that's where you need to help her. And are you counting? You need to help her by counting, looking gently to the front rail and counting from back there so that you start to see, oh, I've got to make a decision, right? The earlier you say, oh, I'm just going to wait a little bit, or, oh, I'm just going to go forward a little bit. Either decision can be fine, but when you're riding to a half stride, you want to make a decision, right? Which one are you taking? Okay, so let's just jump this one by itself again, and then we'll put our course back together. I was worried she wasn't in front of your leg enough, right? She was kind of grinchy and her down the wall. I thought, okay, well, Ren must like his canter enough because he's going to the jump, so I didn't say anything. And you did like it enough. It was right. She jumped just fine. Then she was a little far off her track, right? So you need to land, stretch up, and stay on that middle to middle track. Next course. Okay, so just circle and come to the oxer. You actually created a little more energy as you were waiting. Did you feel that? It was like you could have pushed for the long spot, but instead of doing that, you created more impulsion, and then she could jump really well out of the deep spot. That's awesome. That's really good stuff. Alright, I tried to give you a plank, I'm giving you barrels instead. This plank is too finicky.
So you're gonna be at the show both days?
Yeah.
Okay. It's just, Blaze has no problem loading into the trailer, but
Yeah.
you just, she just walks in, but you gotta kind of put the butt bar in fairly quick before she'll just back out.
Right.
If nothing happens there, right? So, no, she's well trained for that, but it's just.
Okay. Okay, let's do our course again. Oh, thank you. I thought you were saying crop. Got it.
What was that? Velcro?
Rock.
I didn't hear. I got my one ear with an earplug in, and I'm hearing that air blower on the other one. So.
Hi. I'm mic'd. Don't say anything inappropriate. Did you finish cleaning my paddocks?
No.
Darn. I got half of them done. Okay, Ren. Push her off your right leg. Take that right bend. Let her know there's no negotiating this sort of thing. That's right. Fair but firm. Wake her up right away. Okay, I would do that again. Go back to trot. When you get the canter, it needs to be your full canter. Go to your stick quickly if she's soggy off the leg. Good, go, go, good. That was fine, right? Because she had a little frustrated moment, but she actually cantered forward with some energy. That we can work with. Good, start your course. Three, four, five, six. Balance, left bend. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Okay, just stand quiet for a sec. Okay. See, this is the problem with no decision, right? Okay, just walk forward. Don't want her standing there being stressed. So she didn't really have a good option to leave the ground there, which is why she decided not to. Now, what was your thought? Were you thinking about waiting or thinking about riding forward?
Backing off.
Right. So if she's backing off, what do you need to do?
Or I do want to take the long jump.
Okay. I mean, from where I was, I thought the long one was the only one there was. In that she was backing off. If you had pressed her forward, the long jump's not so long.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When she's backing off, you certainly don't want to be shortening her. Okay, let's just come again. I'm just going to make it a vertical because she may have scared herself. Now, this time I want you to count your rhythm out loud. Okay, good. So Ren, it was the right decision. You needed to do it a bit more. Okay, so you saw that you needed to close your leg and go forward. It just needed to be a little firmer back here so that she wasn't still long. Okay, let's come one more time with the vertical. Now I want you to actually count loud enough that I can hear it. I can see your lips moving, which is a good start, but I want to hear your count here. So the count becomes primary. It becomes like the most important thing. It's helping you to stick with what you have. Energy. Good, excellent. Good, praise her there. Stuck with a good beat. So the distance came up differently that time. You stuck with your beat, you stuck with your count, it worked out well from the deep spot. Now if the oxer had been there and she was that deep, you would have had to just help squish her a little bit here, right? Because when she's deep like that, it's easier for her to push over a vertical than to push and stretch over an oxer. Okay, so we're gonna come one more time because I still didn't really hear you count out loud. I want you to count like I talk, like 1, 2, 1, 2. I want to hear it.
Like you're a drill sergeant, Ren.
That just makes it so that it's, like, I want you to be counting that clearly to yourself. So show me that you are counting that much to yourself. Good, you knew exactly what your decision was, right? So we're still at the stage of riding where you don't need to be right all the time, but you need to be clear all the time. Do you know what I mean? So that wasn't a perfect distance, but it was perfectly supported, right? There was no doubt in her mind or your mind what you were doing, okay? So she can certainly handle jumping, you know, a 3-foot jump, 3'3" maybe, with a bit of a long spot. As the jumps get bigger, we don't have that luxury of being so inaccurate. But that's why we're building slowly, right? We're not there yet. Okay, so I want you to come on that same strong count that you just showed so nicely. You're going to come jump the oxer. Support her that clearly. And the distance is not going to come up the same every time. What you can make the same is the rhythm you're working with. So that out of that rhythm you can expand or contract her stride, and she's still got balance and clarity of when she would be leaving the ground. Count out loud. Beautiful, and there's probably your best distance of the night. That's awesome, Ren. Okay, but again, you stuck with your rhythm, you were clear. Wonderful. It was interesting this year in the medal finals. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the medals, but it's an equitation, it's a judged, basically it's judge jumping judged on rider performance, not on just time and faults, but on how the rider rides, how well they ride, how beautifully they ride, how smoothly and effortlessly they make things look, which we all know it takes a lot to make it look smooth and easy, right? So in the medal finals this last year, there was a girl who, I'm talking about sort of the BC finals, right? There was a girl who had a bad stop. She missed her distance quite badly. The horse stopped, and kind of what you just had, like stopped and kind of slid into the jump, if I'm remembering this correctly. And it was really nice to watch, and obviously these girls have really good coaching, the girls who are in the finals. It was really cool to watch that after she had that, she did not try to look beautiful. What she did, she came around and she counted out loud and she jumped the jump beautifully, right? And it was like at that point, she knows she's not winning the competition, right? What she has to do and what she did was support her horse, right? So it probably calmed her down, because like such a terribly missed distance is probably anxiety and nerves more than anything else. So she calmed herself down by counting, she made it simple, she made her horse feel supported, and then he was able to do the job again. And it was like, you know, any judge watching, I mean, you're counting out loud in a judged rider-judge competition, you're not going to get, you know, well scored, of course. But it was just like such good horsemanship that she went back to basics, supported her horse so well, and then he was successful with the exercise. And if she does this well, we're going to just finish on that easily. So it's something we haven't done a ton of, not for a while anyways. So I'm just going to set you a 2-stride combination. And then this is about rhythm count coming in. 1, 2, jump out, bend and balance on the exit. They're exactly the same. Now we've got to jump a little closer to the wall. Your rhythm count is going to start to happen earlier. Okay, so when we have two jumps on a straight line, the rule of thumb is that you don't turn until those two jumps line up. Right? So you've got your two jumps, you're waiting in your vision, the jumps line up, and then you make your turn. So that's the same whether it's a combination or whether it's 6 or 7 strides, right? Looking, counting, waiting until your standards line up. Riding 2, jump 1, land 1, 2, jump out. So in your 2 strides, you've just got your leg on and you're maintaining your straight track. Okay, Ren, we're gonna go ahead off the right. I'm gonna make this one a vertical the first time. So again, we need to be in the right kind of canter. Oh, thank you. I'm not done. No, you're right. Good. Make sure when you squeeze, she reacts. She goes forward. Now look. Rhythm count. Strong support. Okay, good. So trot across the diagonal, praise her now. You were good not to give up. This is why at the horse show we're gonna start small and work our way up, right? Because as things happen in different places in the ring and different combinations with different decoration, she's gonna question them. You had a great ride in, recreate that ride. Same canter now. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Give her a little tap behind your leg with the stick. And come again. You're okay. So there's that half stride distance coming up. Need to be very clear on what support you're giving her. So here, talk to her, tell her she's okay. Now firm up your leg. Be ready to help her. Good, Ren. Oh, okay, praise her. She knows you're serious. Circle, I want you to come canter around, jump this one by itself. At least if we go in the 3 foot, we can trot over them if we need to. Look at it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. Praise her. Trot across the diagonal. Good girl. So it's just putting them both together. In between your 2 jumps, you need to be strong and clear with both legs. We want to try to go 1, 2, and jump. Help her feel that that is what the option is. Yes. Yes, Ren. Good job. So you were thinking the right thoughts there. Good job. Praise her. Good girlie. That's all. Good girlie. You know, it's interesting because I thought that she, having jumped that one before, I thought, okay, well, we can add something in front of it. She still will understand and process that she's already jumped that jump, but that didn't really work out. Okay, so that time when you rode in and you were firm with your support there, and then it was like 1, 2, really got it done in here as well. Okay, now I don't want to open up a can of worms, but I am going to put the oxer up. I'm just going to make it into a skinny oxer because I don't want to stress her out. I just want her to jump something that is an oxer to finish with that. Okay, so let's come one more time. Same support. Make sure you praise her right away when she's good. Oh, Blaze. I brought my wallet with me back, so I'm packing it around all day. Come on. Yes. Praise her. Now, this is why it's rider and horse, right? You have to be so engaged together. If you had hesitated for a millisecond, she would have stopped, right? Because it wasn't the ideal jump in. She was, you know, shortening to the jump, so she jumped not very much across the jump. So because she jumped kind of up in the air over this one, then the 2-stride got quite long, right? So what do you, the rider, do? You say, go 2, right? You keep your body tall, you land with your hands forward and your legs on. And then the message to her is there's no time to think about it, I just have to go. And if she does that, she can cover those 2 strides well enough to jump out. Okay? Good, that's enough for her. She got really stressed. Did you feel when she stopped here, her little teeth were chattering like she's a little baby, right? The foals do that when they're stressed, right? The little teeth go, "Arr." So that's how worried she was when she was like, I don't understand, I don't get it, right? So we jump it by itself, we come around, you support her a little harder, you support her more in the middle, and she starts to put it all together. Very good, Ren. So next, we've got 2 more lessons, right, before the show. We'll make sure one of those days for sure we work through a combination again. And then we'll just work on a couple of longer courses as well. Or a course where I tell you a course and a jump off. 2 things quickly, because I do have to be quick. So maybe I'll go over this next week as well. But horse show etiquette. Make sure that you are clean, presentable, not wearing a sweatshirt, right? Boots, are you going to wear those boots?
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that fits him.
Okay.
But he's got a shirt and tie.
Okay. So, you know what, we can look past the boots, but make sure everything's tucked in, presentable, clean, black gloves, okay? The other thing is to make sure that you, your family, your friends, whoever is there, are respectful about facility, but also respectful in terms of what we talk about, right? So it's, you'll see and hear this at horse shows all the time, where people sit in the stands and go, I don't know why she got that horse, and, you know, like, did you know how much she paid for that horse, and da-da-da-da-da, and whatever, and it's that gossip thing that we all get into, right? And the thing at a horse show is you never know who you're sitting beside, and if you say, to, you know, oh, that rider just has the worst hands, or whatever, then that could be their mom that you're sitting beside, or their student, or whatever, right? So even though there's things that we notice that we don't love, then it's just not the time and place to say that, right? Like I've just seen that I've seen that too often, and I don't want my students to portray that, okay? So I say that to everyone, not just you, but I always say, like, be conscious that you're sitting with people you don't know, that you don't know who you're upsetting when you say negative things, right? And we just need to get past the negativity in general, but we certainly don't need to share negative opinions at a horse show. Okay, so those are kind of my two big things at the horse show: presentation, clean horses, clean riders, and appropriateness, right? Good. I'm going to ask about the flash. We may not be able to use it on Saturday, but we'll certainly use it on Sunday. So if we're not able to use it on Saturday, I'll just like tuck it in her brush box or something. I know they said schooling attire and tack were permitted, but I'm not sure exactly what that means.
She probably doesn't really need it. She seems to be pretty good.
Well, it certainly has helped her, but probably for the classes she'll be doing on Saturday, she would be all right without it. Okay.
Cool.